Hello and welcome everyone to this morning's Daily Market Report brought to you on behalf of CommunityFT for all CommunityFT members, in which we're going to take a look, guys, at some major asset classes over the next 24 hours, okay? But before we do that, at this point, if we can all embrace a quick risk warning. So let us familiarize ourselves with the information in front, engage as much as is possible so that hereafter any decisions you do make in your trading in the future are of a fully informed nature. Okay, so on the cards for this morning, let's take a look at some economies, the value of those economies as is reflected by their currency, and let's also take a look at some equities. So what we're looking at in front of us now, guys, is the daily chart of the Australian dollar, US dollar. Okay, what's quite obvious to the experienced analyst here in this case is the gradual strengthening of the US dollar versus the Australian dollar over the last period of time. But what's also interesting to the experienced technical analyst is some patterns that we can deduce from that movement, and let us do that. So in effect what we're looking at now, guys, and I hope you can see this, is a descending triangle. I'm going to zoom back in, okay, which means the high prices moving downward or decreasing with a similar gradient, and that's coupled or in parallel with support which the low prices haven't breached. And that can be a technique useful to us because it can highlight certain key levels of support and resistance in the market, and hence when the market fails to follow those patterns, opportunities. So what we could be looking at in this case, okay, is should the market breach the support, possible short positions, or should it breach the ascending or the diagonal, I should say, we could be looking at possible long positions. Now let us take a look at eBay, okay? eBay is a great example really of a market which is not useful in effect to the ultimate trader at this point in time, okay? And the reason being, if you think about it, or the reason being to any sort of trader really at the moment, is we have what you might call a stagnant price, okay? And a stagnant price, relatively speaking, let's say, okay, is a price that just moves very little with time. Now, because it doesn't move, and because it moves very little with time, there are no opportunities presented therein. In fact, even one using the stochastic oscillator would have made at best a profit of 29 pips. So, in cases like this, okay, when it can be very tempting to simply discard this, throw it in the bin and move on, what's usually best is that we leave it as be, because if we do move on, we might miss future opportunities. So what's necessary to have in place, though, is another asset class with an uncorrelated price movement to eBay itself, and perhaps the Australian dollar, US dollar, which will allow us to hedge positions naturally, and of course then protect us against times of lulls which do inevitably happen. So we hope that's been of help, folks. If you have any further questions, please get in touch with us. We would love to hear from you. Have a terrific day, and as we say here, guys, keep learning.